Hey guys, happy Monday and happy day one official of our training here. I'm super excited to be here with you guys today and kind of explaining the black hole of algorithms and social media hashtags and all of that, because I know it's super confusing and it's always changing. So everything that I'm about to share with you guys here is stuff that's current right now, but who knows, when Instagram and Facebook wants to make their changes, what things are going to change. But this is the newest information that I have. I am always updating myself on relearning things that have changed, educating myself on, the things that they do and the things that they change, because that's what we have to do. We work on social media, so we have to always be aware of the changes and educating ourselves on the kinds of things that they're changing and flipping around, so that we can do our best job at reaching the best and most people that we can. Hey guys, thanks for hopping on, Kim and Casey. So I'm just gonna dive right in, and I'm gonna cover both things, hashtags and algorithms. I'm gonna first dive into hashtags and why it's important to use and how we can figure out the best ways to use them to best market ourselves. So hashtags are super duper important. Hashtags do not matter on Facebook at all. You can search hashtags on Facebook, but they don't connect people like they do on Instagram. So basically what I'm going to be talking about right now for hashtags is pretty much just going to be for Instagram. So the reason that we use hashtags is because that's how Instagram actually pairs and creates relationships, is kind of what they call it. So that's how you get information. That's how people can find you. It's just a really good way to, build our community and our network. So there are literally over 100 million people using hashtags right now to find information and to find people and to gain followers. So we need to be part of that 100 million. And in order to do that, we need to be educated and educate ourselves on exactly how that works. So the reason that we use hashtags so much is it's basically like a keyword search on Google. If you guys are familiar with kind of how that works, your search engines, you basically are using a hashtag to kind of create that keyword to associate you with whatever that topic is. So in order to use hashtags correctly, it wouldn't do us any good at all to just be posting a whole bunch of random hashtags in our stuff and it not actually relate to us, or not actually have some sort of a strategy attached to it. So we have to create a strategy, and I'm going to go over that today. So in order to do that, you have to do a few different things. So one is going to be figuring out who your market is. All of us are going to be different. I mean, it's obviously similar because we have, this similar business, but it needs to be more specific on exactly your niche. So your target market specifically. And in that, it is, exactly who your target market is. So these are things you need to write down. Your target market, exactly who it is that you're trying to contact and reach out to, the things that you're going to be able to help them with, what tools you have that you can help, these followers with, what are their interests and your interests as well, because you're basically attracting people that are similar to you, that you would want to be friends with in real life. And then who would you have to help them with, and your niche. So that's the first thing you need to do, create your first part of your strategy and write that list down. And then from there, we can create the hashtags based on that list. So from there, you want to go into Instagram, and hopefully you guys have seen how you can actually search your tags, your Instagram hashtags in the search bar in Instagram. So I recommend you doing that based on the list that you have come up with. You can start searching hashtags up in that search bar, and it's going to bring up really, really popular hashtags. So some that are going to have like multi-million hits to it. What you can do with that is you'll see a suggestion underneath the search bar. And so you want to look at those. Those are the hashtags that you're going to want to start looking for. So you would put like one of the really top, let's say for us, it would be fitness motivation. Okay, it would be like the #1 hashtag. And that has millions and millions and millions of people that have used that. So you don't want to use that on your stuff, because you're never going to be seen with that. But if you search something like that, you'll see in the suggestions other recommended hashtags that are similar. So kind of scroll over until you get ones that are not super popular, and that's where you can get ideas of creating hashtags through that. So start writing those down. So from there, write that list of all of those hashtags based on one of those strategy points that we pointed out. Then move on to your next and your next and your next, and write down hashtags that are underneath that search bar that fit into that realm. And then from that list, you're actually going to break it down, and each picture is going to be different. Each post is going to be different. You're not going to use the exact same hashtags with every single one because you want it to be specific. So once you figure out those, another way you can actually look for other hashtags is searching like big name people. So people that are like similar to you, once again, in your niche. Somebody that isn't necessarily a Beachbody coach, I don't recommend doing that, but somebody who is similar to you, somebody who has the same interests as you, somebody who has maybe similar things to you, but has a really, really big following. And you can see some of the hashtags that they're using and do the same with that. Write the hashtag at the top and then see the suggested hashtags. Okay, so from there, you're gonna create your list of hashtags, and I actually have a few different chunks of hashtags saved in my notes section. So depending on the kind of post that I'm writing, we don't wanna only be posting things about just fitness or just nutrition. We wanna be posting things in our life that are relatable to us. So that means there's going to be different hashtag groupings. So I have a few different sections of hashtags saved in my notes section. So one's more for like motherhood, and like anytime I post something about homeschooling my kids, or like family time. And then I have a group of hashtags specifically for when I'm working out. So like a workout post or a call to action post, I have things that are similar to that. And then I have another one that is specific to food. So I do a lot of gluten-free like talk. We're a gluten-free family, so I have a lot of gluten-free hashtags. So that's another section that I have of hashtags. So that's something that you guys can do as well. Now, one of the big things that I get asked actually a lot from my coaches and people on my team is how many hashtags we're supposed to be using and how many we should use. So this has been a really hot topic, and I did tons of research even again right before doing this video over the last few days, because it's always changing. Some people say you should stick to like 5 to 10 hashtags. Some people say you need to use your maximum, which is 30. You can't use more than 30. But I really try to stick to around 10 to 28. So I don't ever go to my 30 because I have read and listened to a couple people explain that when you go all the way up to your 30 hashtags on every single post, that your Instagram is not necessarily flagged, but just like targeted that you are doing the max potential. So I don't ever use 30. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's the case, but I always just stick to, I don't do more than 28. So in order to get your max, viewings on your hashtags, it is smart to do all the way up to 28 hashtags. So if we're going to do it that way, I'm going to break it down as to how we're going to organize our hashtags to do for 28, but you can pick your own number if you want. So when you're using your hashtags, I say up to 28. And when you're doing them, when you're picking those hashtags from the suggestions, you do want to have some that have a lot of views. You want to have some that are just little. You want to have some that are really, really specific to you. So this is how I broke it down. So you can have 5 big hashtags. Now, big would be anywhere between like 500,000 and 800,000. I know some people disagree that they don't ever want to go over 100,000, but that's what I do. Between 5 and 800,000, I never go higher than that. And that is how many people, if you guys are lost in here, that's how many people I've used that hashtag, and you can see the number on the side of the hashtag there. So 5 big, which are between 5 and 800,000, 9 between 3 and 500,000 hashtags, and 9 small. So small would be anything under 100,000, like under 20,000. I'm sorry, 20,000 to 100,000, not over 100,000. And then 5 post specific. Now this is really important. So each different post is going to have your different hashtags based on what it is that you're talking about. But it is important to also have the hashtags that are very, very specific to that picture itself. So your hashtags will be something like, about your fitness or about your health or whatever, but say your picture is you wearing like this. Say if I'm taking a picture, I'm wearing this. So I'd probably hashtag something about the brand that I'm wearing, maybe blonde hair, maybe the lipstick that I'm wearing, maybe something about a manicure, like something very specific to that particular picture. Or if my dog is in it, I will make sure like to hashtag something about, she's a golden retriever, so some sort of golden retriever hashtag. So something like super specific just to that picture. And that is just another really great way to gain followers that are not necessarily following you for your fitness or for your health. They're just, they just happen to see your hashtag pop up because you talked about a golden retriever. So that's another really good reason that you want to have those 5 post and picture specific things on your comments. So the other really popular thing that I get asked, hey guys, hey, sorry, these are a little delayed here. So another thing that I get asked, where was I going with that? That's why I don't look at comments. Oh, is whether to put the hashtags in the actual post itself or in the comments. I seriously have gone back and forth like my entire like Beachbody career because it's always changing and I always hear different opinions. But the most common opinion is that it doesn't matter whether it's in your post or whether it's in your comment. It's not about like whether that's going to flag you or do anything or that it's going to give you a lack of views. It's only a preference of whether they think it looks nice or not. So I personally would prefer to not have it in my actual post, but to have the hashtags in my first comment. And that's just me because I think it just looks cleaner. So everything that I have researched, and like I said, I continually do research on this stuff because I want to be up in the know of how they're doing things. I have never read anything that says specifically you should not have your hashtags in your post itself, in your verbiage itself. So that's just my 2 cents. Okay, so the other thing that you guys can do is after you have a few of these posts that you've used your hashtags in, you can go back and click on your insights for your post itself. So if you go to your profile after you've already, say you're 3 days into doing this, go back to your profile and click on the insights button. It's basically right underneath your picture, you can see insights. If you click on that, it'll show you everywhere that you guys got your views from, people that, how you got your likes, how you got your views, and how anybody followed you from that post. You can see in there from your hashtags how many people saw that post based on just your hashtags itself. So that's a really good way to just kind of like test, how your hashtags are working and seeing what's working, what's not. And then every week or so, go through your posts and see, okay, this post had, 45 new people that were connected to that post specifically just for my hashtags. So let's take a look at my hashtags and see what was different from that versus, a few days before or a few days after. That's just really a good way to kind of be, checking yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. So that's what I have for hashtags, and it's just going to be kind of a learned process, and I'm always changing my hashtags in my note section too, as things get more specific to me or more different kinds of people I want to reach. But it's just a really good idea to have them saved so you don't have to constantly be like thinking every time you make a post. There's already so much we have to think about when we're doing our posts and stuff. It's just so much easier to just grab it from that's already typed up and paste it in there. Another reason that I like to do it in my comments, because then I can just post my picture, and when I do post my picture, I have it, or when I post to Instagram, I have it go right over to my business page on Facebook. So those of you guys that don't have a business page, you don't want to do this. But if you have a business page on Facebook set up, you can just share it directly over to your business page, and then the hashtags aren't in that post, which kind of looks, in my opinion, I think it looks tacky if it's on Facebook. So if I add it to the comments of my Instagram, that doesn't carry over into my Facebook business page. Okay, so the next thing is algorithms. Now this is one of those things that is legitimately like changing all the time. And it's so hard to get a full grasp of exactly what Instagram is and Facebook is doing. But basically what the algorithms do, they want to try to find ways to connect people, just like what social media is for, on a base level. So it's trying to weed out things like people just trying to search for people just to gain followers, or people just trying to sell people things. It really, they're really trying to get people connected on a basic level. So in order to gain that and to be able to use that to our advantage, is learning the algorithms. So basically what they're doing, it has it broken down into 3 different sections. So it's your interests, its relationship, and its hashtags. So that's how the algorithm is kind of formed. Now, I could never even speak any more about algorithms than this right now because it's so confusing, and I know there's so much more to it, but that's basically how they have it, broken down. So as far as your interests goes, on Instagram, like I said, they target trying to find connections to people to create relationships. So in order to kind of win that algorithm, you do want to be connecting with people on that basic level, relationship to relationship. And this goes back to where we come from as coaches. We don't just want to try to find everybody and, anybody and everybody we want, with us. No, we have a desire to truly help people and truly make connections with people because we like to help people. So that carries into how we work on social media. So creating that relationship, it's easy to do that by, you know, having those kinds of connections and having that kind of relationship. So in order to win this like category of interests, you need to be aware of what it is that you're searching on Instagram, what it is that you're clicking on Instagram, and the kinds of people that you're looking at. That's how they're going to connect your stuff on the Explore page and bring people to, you know, seeing your stuff first. So if you guys don't know, Instagram doesn't have, same with Facebook, it's not like a timelined system. So it's not like when you post at 6 a.m., it's going to be exactly in order with everything that everybody else posts like it used to be. But now it's solely based on algorithms. So Instagram is basically choosing who's going to see your post at that time. It's not about what time you post or anything. It's choosing who it is it's going to see that based on the kinds of things, the kinds of connections that you made, the kinds of things you clicked on in the past, the kinds of things that you stay or hover on, things you save. That is all ways that they can connect you with other people. So be just aware of the kinds of things that you're searching for. Be aware of the kinds of things that you're clicking on. You know, they're targeting and adding, you know, ads for you as well, but that's also how they're connecting you with other people. So as far as relationship goes, so interacting with followers, that's a no-brainer. We don't want to just be, you know, spouting out random things and trying to sell things to people. That's not who we are. So we are forming relationships, and that is really helpful in this algorithm. It's creating those relationships. It's making Instagram's algorithm see like, oh, okay, this person is actually interested in them because they're talking to them. They sent them, you know, a DM this morning and they liked, you know, 2 of their photos. That puts you closer to more of a relationship in the social media world. So making sure that you're also asking your followers to interact with you. So maybe saying in your post, like, you know, if you really like this, you can save this post for future, you know, to use in the future. Or if you like this, you can share this with somebody else or tag somebody below if you think that they would need this. A way that your followers can connect with you in that post, it's going to really help grow that relationship between you guys. And vice versa, same thing goes with you guys connecting with other people on their stuff, making sure that you're commenting genuinely on their posts and on their pictures, and same with their stories, connecting with their stories, not just watching everybody's stories, but, you know, relating to somebody. If somebody asks a question or a poll and, you know, wants to have information, people that you're interested in, it's important to respond to that. Somebody that you're not interested in, 1, you shouldn't be watching their stories because that's a waste of time. But 2, you want to really focus on the people that you are trying to gain a relationship with. And you can do that by interacting but them interacting with you. And then the last is your hashtags, which we went over. So a big thing is just to make sure that you guys are always staying in contact with the people that you are interested in and asking them to, you know, basically respond to you as well. So I hope that was helpful. Hey Hannah. Hey guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'm going to give you guys a little bit of homework. So in addition to your homework that Rachel gave us last night to make sure that we are every single day throughout this challenge that we're doing that social media, Instagram training, or homework, I do also want to give you guys a little bit of homework here. So once you have gone through what we talked about and figuring out your lists and your hashtags, screenshot either in your notes section after you've typed them all up, screenshot that, and then post it in here, or you can even screenshot the comment underneath one of your posts that you used your hashtags. So let's just share with each other the hashtags that we came up with today, and yeah, we're excited that you guys are in here. We're really excited that you guys are already like jumping in and tackling the things that we talked about yesterday, and we're just really, really excited for this training. We know it's going to be awesome for you guys and awesome for our team. So thanks so much for tuning in. And if you're watching the recording, make sure that you listen to the end and do your homework. All right, guys, thanks.